Big things are happening over here at ARTV in 2020, everyone. Look, a brand new neon sign that actually lights up. It's fantastic, amazing gift from Hannah and my parents. And also off camera here, we've got a fan blowing cold air, so hopefully my goal of sweating less in 2020 will actually come true. 2020 is looking pretty bright. Hey neighbor, welcome back to ARTV and the year 2020 if you're maybe just waking up from that New Year's hangover. I'm of course John and I'm officially breaking ground on my second decade on YouTube. Wow, what a weird statement. I've been here over 10 years. So yeah, I hope everyone's year is going well so far. Maybe we're not off to the best start ever, but hey, it's a new year, it's a new decade, keep your head up, it'll get better. Optimism for 2020. This all started in the fall of 2009 as something completely unplanned, but that scatterbrained idea turned into my full-time career. So thank you to everybody who's joined in along the way, supported me, and made all of this possible. A quick reminder, we are somewhat close to reaching the next community support goal over on Patreon, and once that is unlocked, ladies and gentlemen, I will start work on my top 100 favorite songs of all time. That's right, of all time. That is a massive list. I'm really excited to actually break ground on that. So if you're interested in supporting the channel or supporting that project, then head over to patreon.com/ARTV. Today I'm here for the annual briefing to the shareholders to let everyone know my plans for the channels going into 2020. It seems like a running theme among a lot of my friends that I have here in the music community on YouTube, but 2019 was supposed to be the year we made things easier on ourselves. And I even mapped out a plan for how that was supposed to go, but did that actually happen? No. Big fat no. Didn't happen, and in many ways, even outside of YouTube, 2019 was unfortunately among the worst that I've ever had. We're brushing past that though. So many people I know just said 2019 was the worst thing ever. They echoed that sentiment, so fuck 2019. It's already in the rear view, and I'm excited to have built plans for the channel that will finally allow me to feel a little bit less like I'm free-falling every single week and a lot more in control. The reason why 2019's plans didn't actually work out is actually all my fault. I still kind of felt this immense guilt and obligation to cover way too many records and dedicated videos. Every single day I was rushing to get to the next review, the next episode of 7 on Sunday, the next top 10, the next rank, the next think tank. It's endless, I tell you. You can never catch up when you put the amount of pressure that I put on myself. And to be honest, I was totally miserable doing it, and I had a couple of complete meltdowns throughout the year. How do we fix this? Well, of course, simply, I take a lot of the pressure off. There's nothing at all wrong with setting deadlines and goals for yourself. In fact, you have to have those. But at the end of the day, I am my own boss, and I made that feel like way too much pressure all year long. It was actually my first year doing YouTube exclusively, no backup plan. I left my job in June of 2018, so I had some of that year to actually save up money from that job, but I felt like if I didn't work myself constantly with what I do here on YouTube in 2019, I'd be homeless, jobless, and who knows what else nonsense I came up with in my own head, planting the seed of doubt late at night every night. Now to get to what I'm doing differently, first and foremost, I am cutting way back on the traditional album reviews. You'll still see coverage for the major releases and even some albums that I feel really strongly about covering in the album review format, but to be transparent, I'm a little bit sick of doing album reviews as I've been doing them for over 10 years now, and the format has felt a bit stale for a while now for me, and I'm really hoping to recover from that burnout by not forcing myself to hear and cover everything. Alas, don't fret too much, I'll be revealing a new show at the end of Q1 of this year called the Album Awards, a quarterly, 4 times a year show that will allow me to highlight some of the best and worst music in a much more condensed setting. It won't be like rapid review styles where I only give things 60 seconds, but still, I'll be able to condense it, and I don't always have to do a full album review and talk about every single song. I'm tired of feeling like I have to do that. The show will include some of the albums that I've already covered in dedicated reviews if I have an award to give to them. You'll kind of see the first episode might be a little messy, but it's going to be a fun mess. It's going to allow me to talk about those albums and, of course, albums that you haven't seen me talk about anywhere else, aka smaller acts, artists I wouldn't normally get to cover that might be out of my realm or whatever, and even some Patreon requested albums. Rapid Reviews is a show you've previously known for being on the main channel, but it's sailing away to beyond ARTV ARTV, as I'll no longer be covering full-length albums on that segment, just singles and EPs, still in 60 seconds or less when I do it. I think that just makes a lot more sense considering I already do dedicated track reviews on Beyond, so migrating rapid reviews to that channel with the announcement of the album awards just felt like the right move. In other news, Ranked will be taking a much-needed rest and will only release every other month starting now in 2020. 6 episodes a year instead of 11. I might do some of the album rankings where I rank the songs on an album, but trust me, doing 11 episodes a year of Ranked, dive bombing through 11 discographies a year for the past 3 years while trying to stay on top of everything else on the channels was literal hell on earth sometimes. So I'm not doing that to myself anymore. I'm also not doing a set release day each month for Ranked to the top 10s, and that's just gonna have to be okay. Top 10 countdowns will continue. Some will be redos, some will be brand new that I've never counted down before, and as I continue doing those, some months might be totally different topics than just my top 10 favorite blank songs from this band, but I'm most excited for, even more than any of these things that I've talked about already, my music exploration series that's going to continue the video essay / on-screen personality style I've kind of been flirting with for the past year or two. I can't show you all of my ideas simply because some of these are bangers that I don't want spoiled, but trust me when I say I've got a whole note on my phone packed full of great topics that actually could turn into some fantastic deep dives. Don't you worry about 7 on Sunday, because that's going to be continuing as well, and into its 7th year, ironically. 7 years of 7 on Sunday. Hell yeah! It's coming back at the end of January as a weekly series as per usual. I might miss a week here or there, and again, I'm going to have to allow myself to get that break if I need it, but the first 7 episodes of 2020 will all be sequels to celebrate 7 years of 7 on Sunday. They'll be sequels to some of the most popular viewer-loved episodes from years gone by. I'll be doing this again in May when the series officially turns 7, so if you're on my Patreon, then look out for that poll so you can vote to see and influence what sequels get made at that point in time. As far as Beyond ARTV is concerned, you'll be seeing new episodes of the Dear John Q&A series, which I still love because I get to take deeper music questions from the neighbors and then I make videos out of them, in addition to more music news coverage, list reactions, track reviews, rants, think pieces, various thoughts and musings, etc., etc. I really just want that channel to be a little bit looser for me because the main channel is much more structured and it's become even more so that way, so that's going to be one of the defining elements that continues to make the two a little bit more distinguishable from each other. As Wise Blood once said, a lot's gonna change. Not so drastically that you'll constantly feel like you're on an alien planet far away from Kansas. This is just a retooling of some of my formats and series that simply weren't working for me or else needed updating for whatever reason. Like I said before, I'm really excited to get some of these deep dives cooking. I've already started on a handful of the scripts, which has me excited, but right now, as you're watching this video, I'm actually kind of giving myself a well-deserved break. I need some time just because that almost never happens, so if I get a couple of weeks that I can kind of chill out and not do nothing, but do kind of next to nothing, then I'm gonna hop on that opportunity. Hannah and I are going out of town to Tennessee for a couple of days. I'm kind of laying low, doing a few videos, but not a ton. I don't want to run myself into the ground like I did in 2019, and I really don't think anyone wants to see that version of me. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, Decade Enlist are not just a rumor, they're a reality, and we're getting at least 3 of those, thanks to the generosity of my patrons that helped us hit the goal of having 182 patrons before 2019 ended. My top 100 songs of the decade, my top 50 albums of the decade, and the worst songs of the decade are all gonna be happening starting sometime in February, because come on, I just finished year-end list, and I can't throw myself right back into the fire, you dingus. All of that and much more is coming in 2020, and I'm very excited to be on a much healthier path with all of you here with me. I know some of you are probably going to be super pissed that I'm cutting back and I'm not going to be reviewing as many albums, but my concentration going into 2020 is making more videos that you'll not only want to watch once right when something happens, but also some more that you're easily probably going to want to come back to at least a year in the future. At the very least, they would hold up if you do. Hope you understand where I'm coming from, and if not, then okay, that's cool, bye, I guess. It's time to make myself a priority too, and I feel like I've been riding in the back seat for years now, almost out of fear fear of losing certain viewers, so I can't hold on to that unhealthy concept anymore. Happy fucking New Year, welcome to the new decade, and stick with me, and I promise I'll show you some of the best content that I've ever made. And also, don't forget to thank my partner in more ways than one, Hannah. Not only is she my other half, but she works for me and with me, and more than 75% of the videos that you see hitting the channels in one way or another, she's involved with in a major way. I couldn't have done it without her, and I couldn't do it without you guys, as I pay her out of the funds that I get through your support on Patreon. Cheers to everyone that makes ARTV possible, and here's to another year of music-related fun in 2020.